What's good, YouTube? Today I'll be talking about the 4 dating myths or the 4 pieces of bad advice that people give women all the time. Before I start, you may notice I'm using a new camera. I just want to shout out Samantha Ebro for helping me make the transition from iPhone to Canon DSLR. Her videos were super helpful. On her channel, she does how-to everything. And she's also a certified makeup artist with plenty of videos on that as well. She also responds to every comment, so if you have a how-to or makeup question, she'll actually get back to you. She don't be acting all fake. A lot of these YouTubers be acting brand new when they get popping, so anyway, if you want to check her out, her link is in the description. With that said, the first piece of bad advice that women get about dating is, playing hard to get will keep him interested. No, it won't. Not everybody. A lot of times people tell women, men love a challenge. Everybody loves a challenge. Play hard to get, and that keeps them interested. That's not true for everybody. Playing hard to get can make you seem flaky and disingenuous to the wrong personality type. Just think about it like this. If you were lost in the woods for a few days, you were tired and hungry and exhausted, wondering if you would ever make it home again. And while you were desperate to get home, you stumbled upon 2 maps in the middle of these woods that you were stuck in. One looked like this, and the other one looked like this. Which one would you choose? I'm positive that you would choose the map that seemed to be the easiest road to follow out of the woods. You wouldn't choose the complicated map because things are already complicated enough for you. You're stuck in the woods, remember. That's kind of how people feel who have been single or lonely for a long time. They're in the wilderness, in the abyss of loneliness. They don't want a challenge. And these aren't all desperate people. Some of these are very good men. Some of these are very good women. Some of you watching this video are in this abyss of loneliness. You don't want to complicate a route to a relationship. You want a sure thing. You want something more simple. You could also even think of guys as animals, right? There are apex predators who love a good chase, who don't expect things to go easy. Carnivores, hunters, thirsty for blood or a good chase. And then you have herbivores. Animals who only eat plants, who'd rather pick fruit from trees or eat things that don't fight back. They enjoy a more peaceful form of gathering rather than hunting. What you have to understand is people are different, and some men are more like the apex predator who love a good hunt, a good chase, who like a woman who's hard to get, who likes the games and the back and forth of a potential relationship. And then other men don't want anything to do with it. Other men just want someone who's genuine, who they can be honest with, who understands them from the beginning, who they don't have to hide their feelings from. Playing hard to get is good advice for some people in some situations. It's not blanket advice that everyone should follow. Bait the hook for the fish, which means to figure out who you're dealing with and deal with them accordingly. Change the rules to fit the game that they play. But that's another video. With that said, the second piece of bad advice that women get about dating is, you should have sex on the 3rd date, and he'll respect you more for it. Not everybody. So people say you should have sex on the 3rd date, or wait until the 3rd date to have sex. I suppose this is because it looks a little less reckless. But is it really? This advice is great if you're not the type to get emotionally attached quickly. But if you do get emotionally attached quickly, then you must play by a different set of rules. Besides the obvious emotional dangers for you in this relationship, you have to wonder about the perception that you give a guy. Some guys don't think anything of it. They just don't give it that much thought. They don't think that hard about it. They're not going to internalize anything as you being easy or slutty. Then there are other men who have a different set of morals, who are more old school, more conservative. They might think it's a little slutty. Also, Even if a guy appreciates the sex, he may still wonder how many guys have taken you on 3 dates just to smash. Have a conversation. If you haven't had a conversation about sex under any circumstances, you probably shouldn't be having it. And I don't care if that's having sex on the first date or the third date. But get to know the guy that you're talking to and figure out if he's going to be receptive of you after you have sex on the third date. But just because it's the third date doesn't make it appropriate. That's a myth. None of this is one size fits all. And you want to give it some thought before you whip out the ass on the third date. With that said, the third bad piece of dating advice that women commonly get from people is, he's the man, wait for him to make the first move or wait for him to approach you. I'm gonna be honest for a minute. This is fucking stupid for many reasons. The first of which is, you could literally be standing next to the man of your dreams. But if he doesn't choose to approach you in that moment, and 5 minutes from now, some lying dickhead does, you'll go off and have a shitty relationship with the guy who talked to you first? This is a waste of life and time. If you know a good man, you know where to find one, you know who you like, you know what he's into, you know that he would treat you right, and you don't say anything to him because you're waiting for him to talk to you, and then he doesn't, and then someone else masquerades as a good person, but really isn't, and then you waste 2 years of your life getting cheated on. Is that really easier than just getting up the courage to say hi to a guy that you really like in the beginning? A guy who probably was more right for you than that other guy who actually approached you. Ladies, stop leaving your fate in the hands of random men who approach you. If you know what you want and who you want, then go after it. Don't wait for some random guy to approach you and be everything that you want in a man. That makes no sense at all. That's not how you approach anything else in life that you want. Why would you do that with your relationships, with your life, with your time? Take control of your life. This may just be me, but fate is an unfaithful bitch whose best answer to life's regrets is usually just a mere, my bad. Fate gives you a Kanye shrug when she's fucked up. People be like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. 20 years later, it never was. You've wasted your time with somebody else who didn't treat you right. Fate looks at you dead in your face with the Kanye shrug. Don't leave life to chance. You'll regret it. And with that said, the fourth piece of bad dating advice that women commonly get about relationships are, you'll just know when it's right. Don't you love when people say that shit? Who has ever known when it's right? You'll just know. Listen, there are thousands of people who just knew that the person they were dating was their soulmate. They just knew that they belonged with that person. 10 years later, all they knew was divorce was a bitch and they didn't want to go through it again and they were done with love. A lot of shit is great in theory, but in practice, not so much. You'll just know when it's the right guy. It's bullshit. You won't. Most of the time, we question everything. It's your natural instinct. For the most part, no one ever just knows. All you know is how a person treats you and what you want and how you trust them. The argument of soulmates is a whole different video. But I can tell you this. Sometimes you just know. Other times, you don't even see them romantically for years and years until one day something clicks or something changes. And then they become that person that you want to be with forever. Most of the people that I know whose relationships and marriages have lasted are people who didn't just know when they started talking at first, or they didn't just know when they met. They learned to love each other that way. They learned to grow into each other. They learned to grow together. They became soulmates in time. It wasn't an instantaneous spark that told them you're going to be together forever. That's fiction. That's a fairy tale. I suppose for some people it happened. I don't know very many people who it's happened to who are right. Most of the time it's infatuation. Most of the time it's people jumping the gun, hoping that this is everything they think it is, and it's really just them jumping into something permanent on impulse. That's not to say it doesn't happen. That's not to say that some people aren't more sure than others when they go into something like marriage or whatever your forever commitment is. But a lot of people have doubts about the relationship because they don't just know. A lot of people get cold feet before a wedding because they think they're supposed to just know. That's not how it works. So get with someone you trust, get with someone who loves you the way you need to be loved, and take a chance. Anyway, that's all I got. Click on my picture to subscribe. Click on these videos to see more of me. Until next time.